Okay, hi. Um, I think what I'll do is I'll just cut some of this off. And welcome to the podcast, video podcast, whatever it is. We are in beautiful Canoga Park, California. And I can't wait to get out of here. Um, Part of this is a test to see if this works again. Um, and because YouTube doesn't like long videos, I will try to keep this down to about 10 minutes. Uh, had a long week, and I will talk about that later on, probably in another podcast. But I do want to talk about something that has gotten on my goat, so to speak. Uh, I think it's in Wisconsin or Michigan. I don't know which one, or Minnesota. It's Wisconsin, Minnesota, or Wisconsin or Michigan. I know it's one of those Great Lakes states. And apparently there is this discussion about a person who is running for Congress, I guess, who is a Republican, who seems to be hogging all the time. Maybe I guess he's doing a radio program or something like that. And somehow they've tied it all into media consolidation, blah, 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 blah. And what they want to do is they want to get the FCC to step in and do something about it. I always get scared when someone says someone's got to do something about it, because what the something usually winds up being is worse than the problem that you imagine you had in the first place. First, let's get to the assumption. The assumption is that most people are now getting their information from talk radio instead of a news program, or most people are getting information from Fox News, which is basically a patent pack of lies anyway. And we all know that, of course, by the way. That is wrong. Most people don't get information, period. If you take a look at the ratings, radio ratings and television ratings, cable ratings, broadcast ratings, put it all together, and you take the ratings, for instance, for television. You take the ratings for Bill O'Reilly's show on Fox, Lawrence O'Donnell's placeholder until both MSNBC and Keith Olbermann both come back to their senses on MSNBC. Whatever CNN's doing, I don't even know what it is anymore. And you put that together. If you want to throw in HLN, fine. If you want to throw in Bloomberg, fine. Go right ahead. But if you add them all up, it still does not even come close combined to the ratings that are received on cable every Monday night by WWE Raw. CM Punk gets better ratings than Bill O'Reilly. Let that sink into your head for about 4 or 5 seconds. Most people don't get information, period. They don't want to get information, period. The only people who really care about this are wonks like us. And I used to work in radio, off and on for 20 years. And if there's one thing about the fairness doctrine, which everybody seems to want to really go back to, because they feel that because if there was a fairness doctrine, there'd be more balance. Let me tell you where balance usually winds up on a schedule, on a radio station schedule. 5 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, when all of you are sleeping off your hangovers. That's right. No one really cares. They don't. They never have. They never will. So really, all this yelling and screaming to the FCC is just a waste of time. What we as progressives need to start doing, I know you say, well, where are we going to get the money? There are progressives with money. And we've got to convince them to start buying radio stations. And I'm not talking about, well, we'll go ahead and buy some big market station somewhere in New York City. Or no. The power that Rush Limbaugh gets is not in the big cities. He could care less about the big cities. The power he gets is from the small markets. Places like Alexandria, Louisiana, and San Angelo, Texas, and states like Wyoming that don't really have a major market in them. Small and medium market stations. And you can buy those things for a song. Don't worry about whether or not you got 50,000 watts yet. Okay? Because right now, with things like apps for your phone, the internet, other things, even translators, you don't need to have 50,000 watts. Just buy the station and run it like say KFI does in Los Angeles. Don't go Occupy on people. People get turned off on Occupy. They're turning off on Occupy and the Tea Party. Position the station as a talk alternative. Position them as just as much of a flamethrower as the other guys, only it's going to sound a little bit different because they're saying things you haven't heard yet. And that's how you get through. It's simple. And like I said, you could buy a radio station for as much, even less, than you could buy a house in California. You just have to look at the radio stations. And you just have to program them and go out there and market them like they're going to be, big A-kicker radio stations. Don't go around wave that progressive radio flag, because it's going to turn some people off. Let's be honest. Can we be honest for about 5 seconds? For some people, the words progressive radio will turn them off. So you wind up speaking to the choir. You're not increasing your reach. You can market the station as a smart alternative to what you've been listening to, or a station that doesn't do all the yelling and screaming. Whatever you want to do, you have to reach the audience, not force the audience to come to you. You got to reach the people where you live. That's the problem we progressives have always had. We've thought that all we have to do is educate the people. They'll just come to us and they'll realize with logic and forethought that, we're really right. They're not going to do that. They're not. So that's the one thing we have to do. We have to start buying radio stations. Number 2, we have to start advancing ourselves simply. I hate to say this word, but our message has to be dumbed down. How the hell do you think Bill Clinton managed to get through 8 years of all the stuff he got through? He dumbed down the message. The message was highly intelligent, but you gotta reach people where they live. So those are really the 2 things we really need to do as progressives to get our message across. But there'll be a lot of people who are going to say, well, we need to occupy. There's the power structure. There's this Bain Capital that owns Clear Channel. Let me tell you something else. Most of the top progressive radio stations, you know who owns them? Clear Channel. Randy Rhodes? Guess who she works for? Clear Channel, Bain Capital. She keeps running them down every day, but You don't see them pulling her off the air. And Clear Channel was there after she got reamed by 2 radio companies. And besides, all advertisers care about are ears and eyeballs. That's all they care about. They're not supporting anything. If AutoZone over here advertises on Rush Limbaugh and also advertises on Randy Rhoads, are they supporting Rush Limbaugh? Are they supporting Randy Rhoads? No. They're saying, you know, there are conservatives who listen to this thing, and there are liberals who listen to the other thing. We can put our advertisers on both of these stations. They hear us, they'll go to AutoZone. That's all they care about. That's all. The world is not freaking NPR. Does anybody understand what I'm saying here? Anybody? I don't know. Anyway, I hope this gets through. I hope you listen to this. I hope you at least you took what I say to heart. If you want to yell and scream at me, I'm on Twitter at POLYBI, the number 2. If you want to yell and scream at me on Facebook, just POLYBI. And we'll do this again later.